If you are a real estate investor, all right, you may not be interested in paying off the debt because you want to be able to what? Cash out, refi, take your equity and reinvest that money. There are so many ways to make money in knowing this thing. What we are trying to introduce is the millions upon millions, tens of millions, even hundreds of millions of dollars that are not being earned because we are paying interest we don't need to pay. Okay? Now, I need you to focus in here on this part right now. Right now, I need you to focus in on this because I just showed this real estate investor, gave him a little tidbit to wet his whistle. Says, you're going to pay, and you can see it on my screen right now. You can see it on my screen where in 1 year, he's going to pay this loan down by $30,699.86. Now, he's got 2 office buildings, cash flowing over $57,000. His monthly mortgage payments are $14,696. All right, making plenty of money. And he's putting about 11.2% of that money in a reserve fund for repairs and maintenance. He also has lines of credit that aren't in here that he's leveraging as well. So listen, this guy is set up perfectly. He's making money hand over fist. But when he read my book, The P.I.L.L. Method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt, he said, there's something we're not paying attention to. What we're not paying attention to? Even though I'm making money and my tenants are paying that, all the money that's coming through my hands, 1,123,000 of it is going to go to interest. I'm now finding out it doesn't have to. So we're showing him how to only pay around $231,000 in interest. That's an $891,000 interest savings. That's a reduction of interest costs by 79%. So listen, folks, I want to show you one thing about this, okay? Watch this right now. This is key. This is why you don't do it every month. And it's going to make total sense when I show you this. So I give him an example. If you borrow money from yourself, I mean borrow it. When you borrow money, you have to pay it back, even when you borrow it from yourself, correct? Borrow some cash from yourself that's sitting in a bank account making 0.1%. Let's say we borrow about $30,699, $30,700. We're going to borrow that from yourself out of your bank account, which has over $100,000 in it. Apply it to this mortgage principal, pay it down to line 12 in 1 month, and save $67,000 in interest. Now, he borrowed the money from himself. He paid it to the mortgage, knocked off a year's worth of payments. Okay. His next payment next month, all right, doesn't change, but it will be on line 13 of his amortization schedule. This is money he was going to pay anyway, folks, but he paid it in 1 month because he had it and saved $67,000 in interest. What? Yeah. And his next mortgage payment next month is going to be on line 13 of the schedule, knocking off all those payments and saving all that money in interest. Now, since he borrowed that money from himself, what is he going to do now? I said, you're putting about $6,000 into your bank account out of the rent you're receiving. How long is it going to take you to pay yourself back, to get yourself back that $30,000? He says, at about 5 months. I says, what if we just made the minimum payments for 5 months? And in 5 months, after you build your stash back up, could you do that again? Another pregnant pause. He said, yeah. Because that money I have in the bank is making 0.1%. I never really looked at it. It's just comforting to have it just in case something goes wrong. But it's just sitting there. I could take that money in 5 months, do it again. And I said, in 5 months, could you do it again? And in 5 months, could you do it again? Until we're getting so much equity, so much cheaper, using money, that dormant money, that lazy money sitting in the bank waiting for something to go wrong. Plus I have lines of credit to back me up. Oh my goodness. We can get down to where he would have $100,000 in equity. Okay. $132,000 in equity, not for the $285,000 in interest the bank wants him to pay for it. We could show him how to do it for less than $100,000 in interest to get the same amount of equity years sooner. Reinvest that money and start tracking how much interest you're not paying, and then put that on a spreadsheet. And so now I'm acquiring the same equity for a lot less interest. Let me see what I would have paid anyway. And now I'm going to make sure that I invest the money that I just saved and turn it into long-term money coming into my family compound interest. Man, you can't beat that.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.